In today's video, I'm going to take you through the pros and cons of living in Noblesville, Indiana. Now, by the end of this video, you should be able to determine if living in Noblesville is right for you and your family. Before we begin, I'm Cameron Geesaman, your favorite Indianapolis YouTubing realtor. Yes, every time I do this, I feel really goofy. I love sharing information about the Indy area with people like you who are deciding whether or not maybe to move to the area. Today, I'm going to be focusing on Noblesville, Indiana, a historic and growing suburb on the northeast side of Indianapolis. First, I'm going to give you a bit of general information about Noblesville. Then we're going to talk about the pros, then the cons, and make sure to stick around to the end for an exciting announcement about Noblesville that you won't want to miss. Noblesville is a suburb of Indianapolis located in Hamilton County and is one of the best places to live in Indiana per niche.com. Now, Noblesville has about 68,000 residents with a median household income of about $90,000. According to Niche, 73% of all Noblesville residents own their home, and about 49% have a bachelor's degree or higher. Homes in the city of Noblesville have a median sales price of about $399,750, with 104 homes currently on the market today. Starting with the pros of living in Noblesville, you have the historic Noblesville Square, and at the center of it all, you have the historical Hamilton County Courthouse. It looks like something you'd see in a movie, kind of like the Clock Tower building in Back to the Future. I totally just dated myself there. Then around the edges, essentially across the street of the courthouse, on three sides, you have a variety of shopping and dining options. All of them are mom and pop shops, which I love. I love stepping into Noble Coffee and Tea for either a matcha or a latte, then heading over to Wild Bohemian or Charisma to check out some of the newest fashion trends. The one thing you really get when walking around Noblesville Square is the lovely small town feel. Just a couple of blocks away, you have some historical homes that are so fun to drive or walk by and look at. So yeah, that's a Noblesville Square, just a super cool place to visit, and I highly recommend. The second pro about living in Noblesville is Ruoff Music Center. Originally, it was called Deer Creek Music Center. It's an outdoor amphitheater located on the east side of Noblesville. It is also the largest outdoor music venue in the Indianapolis metro area, with more than 6,100 pavilion seats and 18,000 general admission lawn seats. That's huge. I've seen more shows at Ruoff Music Center than I can count, and every time it is just awesome. I sometimes say I need to go back more and more. In fact, Ruoff Music Center is so popular that bands will sometimes play 2 or 3 nights in a row there because it's almost always sold out. Here's a pro tip. The back side of the lawn area makes for great winter sledding as well. Now, speaking of winter sledding, that segues nicely into my next pro about living in Noblesville, and that's all the excellent outdoor activities there are to do. There are lots of parks in Noblesville with walking trails, pavilions you can rent, and large open spaces. Of course, the most popular park is probably Forest Park. It is also an outdoor aquatic center where local swim teams practice and compete during the summer. And finally, you have Morris Reservoir, which actually gets its own talking point. Morris Reservoir is one of the 2 main reservoirs in Hamilton County. It was filled in the year 1956 using several small creeks as water sources and is now a 1,500-acre body of water. Real estate development began in the 1980s with moderate to kind of upscale homes and condos kind of encircling the reservoir, providing lakefront living and waterfront access. Now, Wolfie's Waterfront Grill is the perfect place to be on a warm summer day where you can grab some food, a cocktail, and enjoy the lakefront views. Before we get into the cons of living in Noblesville, if you're looking to buy or sell in the area anytime in the next 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years, I'd love to help. I honestly love helping people that are like you, that are buying or selling your first, next, or last home in the Noblesville area. I've been a professional realtor for over 20 years in the Indy metro area, which of course includes Noblesville. So I'm very familiar with the city and what it takes to properly market and sell your home. My contact info is, of course, below. All right, now on to the cons of living in Noblesville. The first thing I'd like to discuss are the school boundaries, or should I say confusing school boundaries. The city of Noblesville has its own school system called Noblesville Schools, which services the majority of the area. Yet, you can have a Noblesville address and could be zoned into either Westfield or Hamilton Southeastern School District instead. So, if you want to specifically be in Noblesville school system, you have to be careful when searching for homes in Noblesville, as they don't all feed into the school system. Here's my pro tip. When searching for a home, search by school district, not by city, to make sure your next home is in the school district that you want. The second downside to living in Noblesville is the crowded parking in Noblesville Square. Yes, I had Noblesville Square as a pro to the living in Noblesville, but the parking situation down there can be a complete headache most of the time. If you're trying to park during what I'd consider like off-peak hours, like the middle of the day, during a weekday, you'll probably be fine. But if it's Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, late day or evening, it's nearly impossible to find a place to park. The good thing is there are other parking options off the square with a minimum of maybe a 5 or 10 minute walk. The next downside to living in Noblesville is the dang weather. Midwest weather is some of the most unpredictable weather in the US, where it can be snowing one day, then sunny and 60 degrees the next. It may sound like fun to some people, but the truth is, these kinds of temperature swings can wreak havoc with allergy sufferers such as myself. I woke up with a stuffy nose this morning. Spring allergies are no joke here in the Midwest, so if you don't currently live here and are an allergy sufferer, be prepared to wake up with a stuffy nose, eye irritation, and sneezing from about March until May. Get your puffs ready. The last downside I want to discuss about Noblesville is the lack of development versus neighboring cities like Fishers and Carmel. Both Fishers and Carmel have done a great job with their downtown areas by renovating and reinvigorating their cities with new shops, restaurants, breweries, entertainment, and so on. Both Fishers and Carmel have really done, honestly, a great job making their cities places where you can live, work, and play. Noblesville has taken a bit of a slower approach on this, and that's likely because of wanting to keep the charm of the Noblesville Square by not changing the character of it all. But for some people, this may not actually be a downside to living in Noblesville, and that's the great thing about having options on where to live in the Indy metro area. And the exciting news that is probably one of my favorite things is Costco is now open in Noblesville, Indiana. So although I say that they're not moving forward, Noblesville's doing a great job at starting to bring those businesses to our area, and thank you for it being only 5 minutes from my house. Okay, so that's the pros and cons of living in Noblesville, Indiana. Do the pros outweigh the cons? Are there pros or cons that I didn't think of? Make sure to let me know in the comments below. Once again, I'm Cameron Geesaman, your favorite Indianapolis YouTubing realtor, and that's it from me today. If you liked this video, click that like button and subscribe if you don't want to miss any other videos in the future about the Indy and surrounding areas. And if you want to see more pros and cons videos like this, click this video right here. Catch you in the next one.